Dear brothers and sisters of planet Earth, I am Saint Germain. I am very grateful to Father Mother God that I can be here again. I want to compliment the solar being's message about abundance and prosperity. Many need help understanding the reason for their scarcity. Many think it is punishment, believe it is the other's fault, and feel they are not worthy of it because they are going through it. Everything that Brother Animan said is correct. But there is one point I would like to emphasize: balance. Many times you get a nice share from the universe. And no, I'm not talking about a share corresponding to values here. I'm talking here about receiving something from the universe that, at that moment in your journey, will help you ideally to move forward. What happens then? You receive it, get extremely happy, often forget to be grateful, and think it will be a constant from the universe. Oh, everything will improve from now on because I will always receive that. That's different from how things work. There needs to be equilibrium, and there needs to be common sense and responsibility. What happens to many people? They receive a little and spend more than they should, exactly counting that in the future they will receive the same amount. Because of the lack of control, responsibility, and planning, they don't prosper, which means the universe doesn't give them what they expect. Please don't blame the universe for being rough, it doesn't have that feeling. Let's say there is a tap for the prosperity and abundance of each of you. And who controls this faucet? Father, Mother, God. The universe. None of them. Your higher self manages that tap. It is up to him to show you the right way, to make you see the right way to use what you receive. So if you get it and spend too much, he turns off the tap. But he doesn't have that right. But of course, he does. He is in charge of his soul. He is not some external being of light, much less Father, Mother, God. He is the one who controls everything so that you learn your lesson. So what happens to the vast majority? The imbalance, the excitement, the consumerism, the immediacy, to be fashionable, to buy now and let the payment for maybe later. Many times, some of you already have the decision not to pay, to complain afterward that you live in scarcity. What feeling do you emanate? Everything in your universe is an exchange. The energy of money was created so that this exchange would have balanced values. It was not conceived in your world, on your planet. The power of commutation exists throughout the universe. And when there is this exchange, abundance is attracted. Because the energy has passed from one hand to another, it has circulated, walked, and not stopped in one hand. Within your planet, this currency of exchange has been created very well, so when somebody sells you something, you need to pay for it so that the energy keeps circulating and abundance comes to both of you. But if you don't, the prosperity will go neither to you nor to the person who sold it. And you will be creating karma for yourself and indirectly for the other person. Because if he sells you something and you don't pay, that good is no longer in his hands, he won't be able to sell it to another, but he also won't have its value in your hands because you didn't pay. So indirectly, your attitude of not paying ruins you and the other. Look at the weight you put on your back and in your way. Many may say here and now, "Oh, but I don't pay because I can't." So if you can't, you bought when you shouldn't. Your attitude was not responsible. And no, don't justify to me that you lost this or that. It would help if you learned that you could only give something up when it is in your hands. You can't put off something you don't know will happen. If you don't have, let's say, any energy left, don't do that which you might regret later. And that's what most people do. Then it snowballs, and the debts get more significant. Many people think, if I can't pay, I don't care. Okay, you are emanating more feelings of scarcity, and your life will tend to go more and more into it. What is an exchange? Someone gives you something, and you give something back. Within your world, you exchange identical values. Someone gives you something for a certain amount, and you give that amount back to that person. That's how your world works. I'm not here to comment on whether it's right or wrong. It works that way. Then it would help if you accepted that these are the rules. So there must always be a movement back and forth, not only the back or the forward, but both parts. Those who only ask and receive but never give back to anyone complain that life doesn't get better. Why is that? Indeed, because they were not grateful to the person who gave them something. They didn't offer something of themselves to compensate for that energy. So the energy that came stayed put. This attitude attracts scarcity increasingly, and the person will keep asking for it. And increasingly, he will be left with a lack of prosperity because he doesn't know how to be grateful and doesn't give anything back to anyone. Keep that in mind. Everything has to be balanced. The key word of the universe is balance. So everything that goes must come back, and this law applies to anything, especially in exchanges, where the energy of money is involved. Learn to have balance and trade when you have something to exchange. If you don't do it. Please don't count on the future. Only those with some surplus can fulfill the commitments. Now for those who have no remainings, don't do it because the future is uncertain. What do you emanate today to guarantee that your future will be prosperous? You don't know, so don't do it. Learn to do it only when you have it in your hands. Then you will show the universe that you are balanced and aware of your duties. It's no use to rebel that you have nothing and go out buying, even if you know you won't be able to pay. And then what will happen? You will often have to give it back, or you will be in debt for the rest of your life. Was it worth it? I would say no, because it got even worse in a situation that was already bad. After all, now you have one more debt to pay. So why do you complain so much about scarcity? Look at the way you live. Look at the way you face your commitments. With responsibility or, oh, I don't care, I'll see ahead. That attracts scarcity even more. The energy of exchange needs to guarantee that you will do it and have something for it. It's not counting on the other. It's not saying to the other, I can't do it. Now you'll have to wait. Then the other will have to share the problem with you because you not only have your situation, but you have thrown your problem into the hands of the other. And another important point that many of you think, oh, the other one is not in need, he has plenty, and I have nothing. Do you know what that does? It attracts more scarcity. No matter how much the other person has, what you got has a price, and you need to give it back to the person who gave it to you, no matter if he has a lot. If he has a lot, he knows how to prosper, he knows how to attract abundance. And what are you doing? Attracting precisely the opposite, because you are judging him. You think that because he has a lot, you don't need to pay him back because he can be left without his share. Very well, for sure, the other person won't miss the part that you didn't pay, but the one who got hurt in this is you, because besides not fulfilling your responsibility, you are attracting more scarcity by your stingy thinking that you don't have to pay because he has a lot. Do you understand how you cause scarcity? You provoke the lessons that the higher self gives you. Through lack of control, lack of planning, and excessive consumerism. When will you learn to have it in your hands to exchange? Understand that buying today and paying later was very well planned, so most people get into debt. You acquire something, leaving the payment for the future, and you can't always pay. It was a very well thought out process, well placed within this matrix, to put everyone in debt, and today's world is in debt. Many don't have enough to eat because they pay debts. But it is up to each of you to keep your feet on the ground and always do what is possible. The impossible will hardly come. So have the means in your hands. Then it's a guarantee that there won't be debt and the process of scarcity. But this makes it more difficult to have things. I agree, but you will have a balanced financial life without scares and debts. The biggest problem of the world population is debt. It is the result of your total imbalance. You want everything at the moment, immediately. You don't plan, and you think that the future is assured. No, the future is not certain once it results from what you emanate: scarcity or abundance. Congratulations, you can pay your debts and commitments if you emit prosperity. Now, if you bring up the lack, you will only have more and more burdens. So analyze what is good for you. Is it better to get things now and let the future tell what will be? Or is it good to plan and know that tomorrow will be smooth and you will have no upsets or problems because there is no debt? When you want something very much, if you put it as a goal and act with responsibility, control, and determination, the universe helps it does its part. In this case, your higher self will open that little tap, and you will get what you want as if by magic. That's how it works. Now you must have the responsibility, balance, common sense, and control. The appeal of the outside world is so great that it attracts people who would not even be interested in what is offered. Things like you have to be fashionable, have what everyone else has, and have everything that everyone else has. And why? Because this is the call of the matrix for you to buy what you don't need, without control, to buy unnecessarily, and you get into more debt. Now a big question: what happens with obligations? They always generate more significant amounts to be paid, and who wins? Is it you? No, those who control all the energy of the money in the world. So for them, the more in debt you are, the more they earn, and you fall into this process of unnecessary buying. Do you want to end scarcity? Buy what you need and what you can afford, plan what you want, and the universe will help. Now continue with the imbalance, continue with the consumerism, and the tap will turn off, the shortage will come, and there is no other way. Because if the higher self doesn't turn off the tap, you will never learn to be in control, and you will keep spending more and more. Don't be angry with the higher self, be grateful. Because he is making you think, analyze how far you have come, and take action. It will depend on each of you. So, consider a lot about how you live today. With financial balance or with unbridled consumerism. Who are you serving, yourselves or those who want to get rich at your expense? Thank you for watching. God bless you.